Welcome to Gentle Restorative. My name is Sandra. We are starting out seated with the eyes closed. Take a moment to find your favorite seated position. It doesn't have to be how I am, seated in front of you, whatever your body is happy with. And then close the eyes if you haven't already. I want you to feel your sit bones against, it could be against the earth, your mat, or maybe you're sitting on a prop. That's where I want you to start the inhale. Draw it all the way up through the torso. That inhale ends at the crown of the head. And then keep the length, but exhale, visualize it. Exhale all the way back down and out through the earth. Will you do that a couple of times for me? One more. And then deep inhale through the nose. Loud cleansing exhale. Now I'm wondering, did you actually hear your exhale? Like you might have, I heard it, but you weren't focused on it. I want you to focus on it. So deep breath in. Hold it. When I say exhale, I really want you to hear it. All right, exhale. And then just sit for a moment in silence. So I want to start off this class with an Om. And so in a moment, we'll inhale the arms all the way up, bring the palms together. When you start that exhale, out loud, Om, all the way to the heart. All right, here we go. Inhale. Pause here to set your intention for your practice. Release the arms. I want to try that Om again. This time, I don't know what you were focusing on the first time because I didn't direct you. I just kind of wanted you to have that experience. This time, I want you to focus on the sensation. I know you're going to hear it, but where do you feel it and what does it feel like? All right, here we go. Inhale the arms. Drop the arms. This time I want you to hear it. Inhale the arms up. Drop the arms. This time, I want you to Om silently in your head, but I want you to hear it. Inhale, arms up. And if we were live together, I would ask you, what did that sound like? And maybe more importantly, where did the sound come from? So did you feel like the sound was coming from your head because you were thinking about it? Or somewhere else? I felt it coming from my heart space. So if you're not sure, let's try it one more time so you can pay a little bit more closer attention. All right, drop the arms. Here we go. Remember, this is silent. Inhale the arms up. And then release the hands. All right, why all of that? Oh, I don't know, we'll come back to it. But first, I want you to open up that right leg about 45 degrees. Keep that left foot tucked in front of you. I would highly suggest, I'm looking around, there's another block. I would highly suggest a prop out in front of you. Ideally, we're gonna hinge forward and hopefully land on this prop. As always, you can use as many props as you want to build a tower, or maybe it's not, like the forehead, the third eye that makes it down to that prop. Maybe it's your elbows or your forearms. So you get to decide. But let's start by sitting up really tall. Flex that left foot. Inhale both arms. Take the gaze up to see your hands come together. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, open the arms out wide. Push the heart forward, lift the chin a little bit. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, both arms up. We'll separate the hands once we have full extension. Exhale, scarecrow. Turn the palms in towards each other. Thumbs are facing behind you. Inhale here. Exhale, pull the arms back. Hold it. It's as though the thumbs are guiding you. They're leading. Nice. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, back to the heart. Right hand resting somewhere on that right leg. Inhale, the left arm up. Side bend when you're ready. And let's create a vinyasa here. So inhale, lifting up a bit. Exhale, bring it down. Keep going. One more breath. Slowly make your way back up. Inhale from the sit bones all the way up to the crown. So find that length. Exhale, hinge forward into that fold that we talked about. And so however that ends up for you is perfect. Once you get here, will you relax that right foot? It doesn't have to hold flexion. And I think this is a great place to really hear the breath. So I want you to take your focus to the sound of your breath. And stay right where you are. Let's just kind of play with the breath a little bit so we can hear the differences. So what I want you to do is I want you to inhale and then kind of staccato the exhale, like exhale, stop, exhale, stop, exhale, stop, exhale, stop, exhale. Big inhale. Try that. Do that one more time. Let the breath return to what it wants to be. And then let's plant the hands, slowly push your way back up. I'm going to take my prop or props and move them to my left. I'm going to tip into my left hip so I can get this right leg to bend alongside me. Don't worry if you're tipping into the left hip, it's going to be okay, because what we're doing here is we're going to plant the hands to lengthen. We're turning to the left anyway, and you hopefully have some prop out there. Again, I leave this up to you. You might want to just plant the hands, take them forward a little, see how deep you want to go here. You might come all the way down onto your elbows. You might kind of be in the middle of that, come on down to your prop. You might be able to come all the way down to lay on your prop. So you decide, close your eyes and hear the breath. And then on your next inhale, I want you to hold so you can hear the non-breath. Of course, don't wait for me to tell you when to let go. You exhale when you need to, but then inhale again, hold, and listen to the silence. And when you're ready, let go of that breath control. Take your time to slowly make your way back up. All right, once you're seated and take your time, I'm going to tip back into that left hip so I can free my right leg. I'm going to plant that foot in front of me, knees bent, right hand behind me so it can push off the ground so I can sit up. Get that left elbow to hug the right knee, big inhale, exhale, take that twist to the right. When you're ready, come on back to center. Switch to the other side. So left leg's opening out, right leg in front of you, a prop out in front. Sit up nice and tall. Flex that left foot. We're going to inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, open the arms out wide. Heart forward. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, scarecrow. Turn the palms to face each other, thumbs reaching behind. Big inhale here. Exhale, pull the arms back, heart moves forward. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale to the heart. Release the hands down. Inhale from the sit bones all the way up to the crown. When you're ready to start that exhale, you're hinging forward to find your fold on this side. And then remember, once you get there, you can relax that left foot. All right, so while you're on this side, kind of hanging out. I want you to visualize the sun. I was going to be more specific, but I think I'm going to leave the details up to you. You're probably thinking, what details? The sun looks like the sun. Well, not necessarily. I mean, you could be super close to it. You could be way far away. You could be a sun like where you're drawing it, or it could be the real thing. Visualize the sun. And then I want you to imagine that you can feel the sun's warmth. Just stay with that image for a moment. I'm going to add something on. It might be a little bit more challenging. I don't mean physically, I mean to your vision, so don't panic on me. But just visualize that sun and then feel the heat for another moment or two. And then slowly make your way up out of that fold. Remember, here's where we just kind of tipped into that right hip so we could pull the left leg alongside of us. Props move to the right. Sit up tall. Turn toward the right. And come on down, however is best for you. Okay, so see the sun. You can feel the warmth. What does the sun sound like? Okay, take away the imaginary sensation of feeling the heat. I just want you to now see the sun and hear it. When you're ready, we're pushing our way back up. You can stay tipped into that right side. We're going to bring that left foot around, planting that foot in front of us. Find your balance on the sit bones. Left hand behind you, right elbow grips the knee. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, take that twist to the left. Deep breath in. Release. On the exhale, come back to center. I'm looking around. Somebody stole my bolster. I'm going to use my blanket. You grab your bolster. All right. That bolster is going to go across the middle of your mat. I'm just puzzled because only the dogs are down here. So which one of them took it? I want you to put your right hip against that bolster and then sit up tall and then gently make your way over. So you're in a supported side bend. Now, if you don't have a bolster, guess what? You're grabbing a blanket like I did. Or what I think I'm going to do to build this up is I'm going to put my blocks underneath my blanket. So if you're facing the same issue, you can grab whatever you have around to kind of build this up too. All right, perfect. I'm going to keep my knees bent, one on top of the other. Arms are reaching overhead. If that's okay with your shoulders, if it's not, change it up. Close your eyes. All right, so I want to share with you a poem. It's by George Bradley. It's called The Sound of the Sun. So now this is all making some sense, right? It makes one all right, though you hadn't thought of it. A sound, like the sound of the sky on fire, like Armageddon, whistling and crackling, the explosions of sunlight booming as the huge mass of gas rages into the emptiness around it. It isn't a sound you're often aware of, though the light speeds to us in seconds, each dawn leaping easily across a chasm of space that swallows the sound of that sphere. But if you listen closely some morning, when the sun swells over the horizon and the world is still and still asleep, you might hear it. A faint noise so far inside your mind that it must come from somewhere, from light rushing to darkness, energy burning towards entropy, towards a peaceful solution, burning brilliantly, spontaneously in the middle of nowhere. And you too must make a sound that is somewhat like it, though that, of course, you have no way of hearing at all. If that left arm is still reaching overhead, let's bring it up towards the ceiling and then rotate the palm behind you so you can bend the elbow and drop this arm behind the low back. And then let's just draw that left shoulder back slightly. I'm not dropping onto my shoulder blades. I'm not falling backwards into a twist. I just want to gently pull that shoulder back away from me a little bit. And then inhale that left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale it overhead. Inhale it back up to the ceiling. Exhale the left hand down in front of you. It's going to push the earth away to help you slowly make your way up. I'm going to plant my right hand. It's on the other side of the bolster. Your bolster is wider than what I'm working with. So if it's in your way, you can move it or tip it on its side. It's going to be fine. And then I want to take the top leg and stretch it out. Notice I have the inner edge of my foot on the earth. You might want that left hand in front of you. All I'm going to do is just get some weight into my hand so I can slide this right shin just a little more underneath me. I just want to find a gentle lift on a breeze and come up into a variation of a supported side plank. And you know what? Play with that top arm. I want you to inhale it up and then bring it down behind you. If you do not want to pop up like this on one leg, you do not have to. Focus on the arm, focus on the breath. And then we're slowly coming back down. Go ahead and draw the feet in front of you, knees bent. Hug the legs, rest your chin on your knees if they're close enough to do so, and just close your eyes. And when you're ready, all you need to do is turn around in the other direction. So the left hip is against your bolster. I can just scooch mine. When you're ready, left hip against the bolster, sit up nice and tall. Just spill the ribs over. Knees are bent. Both arms overhead, if that is okay with the shoulders. Kind of want to break this poem down a little bit. Let's talk about it. Not necessarily line by line, but certain words and sentences caught my attention. It makes one all right, though you hadn't thought of it. Sound like the sound of the sky on fire. How many times have you thought about the sound the sun makes prior to me asking you about, 10 minutes ago? Right, 0? Okay, just because we didn't think of it, or we hadn't thought of it, or we never paid attention to it, not that we can hear it way down here on earth, but doesn't mean it doesn't have a sound. It doesn't mean there's something going on that we're not aware of, right? Whistling and crackling. Can't you just hear that? Close your eyes again. I'm sure they're closed. Picture that sun. Feel the heat. Now add the whistling and the crackling. It's very alive, isn't it? You can feel the energy and the vibration coming off of that sun. Explosions of sunlight booming. What does that look like in your mind's eye? And do you find that you almost want to quiet down even more so you can see this better? But watch where your breath goes. Notice how quiet it becomes so we can try to hear that sound of the sun. Try to hear where it's coming from, like we tried to hear the silent Om. Where was the sound coming from? The author writes, it isn't a sound you are often aware of, though the light speeds to us in seconds, right? Surrounded by sunlight, well, depending on where you live, right? Surrounded by sunlight, and maybe not even taking the warmth and the sun for granted, but taking for granted where it's coming from, how it is getting to us, and the sound that it's making, the energy that it is using to allow us that experience here on Earth. I'm going to pause right there. I want you to take that right arm, inhale it up to the ceiling, turn the palm behind you, bend the elbow, bring that hand down behind the low back. Softly pull back that right shoulder, hold it here, don't hold the breath. And on your next inhale, take the right arm up to the ceiling. Exhale it overhead. Inhale, back up. Exhale the right hand to the earth in front of you. Use that hand to slowly make your way back up. Remember, we're going to plant that left hand. So again, if the bolster is too wide, because it's going to be easier to have that wrist underneath the shoulder, you can move it. Go ahead and straighten out that top leg, inner sole on the floor. I'm going to use my other hand to lift a little so I can get this left shin just a little bit closer and underneath me. That's my support system. And then inhale, reach. Allow that top arm to play. Find your breath. And slowly release back down. Perfect. Okay, so you still have your bolster somewhere within reach. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my mat. We'll be in table, but I want you to take that bolster and turn it longways, vertically on your mat. All right, and then we're coming up into table. When you're ready, find your cat-cow. One more. Come back to a neutral spine. Take the right side ribs, right hip, push it out to the right. We're going to make a circular cat-cow, right? So push out to the right, round into cat. You're going to be lopsided. You're leaning into the right knee and hand. I'm going to start rounding, but then I'm going to bring my weight evenly onto both knees, both hands. Push out the left side ribs and hip. Start to release the curvature of the spine so that as you come back to center, you should be in an arch. You should be in cow. So I'm going to push out my hips to the right. Start rounding my way all the way through center and over to the other side. Release the spine and find cow in the center. Do it one more time. And then switch directions to the left. One more. And when you're back to center again, neutral spine, widen out the knees, sit back on the heels. You already have your bolster right in front of you. So meander on down into a supported balasana and close your eyes. All right, we left off where talking about this is not a sound that we are typically aware of, even though it approaches us within seconds. And on a good day, it's ever present and all around. Each dawn, leaping easily across a chasm of space that swallows the sound of that sphere. And then this is where I really like where the poem picks up. But if you listen closely some morning, when the sun swells over the horizon and the world is still and still asleep, can't you picture that? Take a moment, will you? The sun swelling and spilling over the horizon, out on the earth in front of you. It gets bigger and bigger as it rises, right? And yet it's quiet because the world is still and still asleep. So visualize this, but hear the silence. And yet, didn't we just say that the sun has a noise of its own? It has a sound that we don't think about, that we're not aware of. So hear that in your heart. Hear that where you felt own. Keep that fabulous visual in your mind and just turn your head to the other side in child's pose. You might hear it, a faint noise so far inside your mind that it must come from somewhere. Is that where your own came from? Was it so far inside your mind, your heart space, so far and so quiet that you barely heard it, but you knew it came from somewhere deep within, where that sound never ends? Bradley writes, it must come from somewhere, from light rushing to darkness. You can hear the word rushing, can't you? So doesn't it make like a swoosh when you see that light change to dark? You see the sun come back down and sink beneath the horizon. Energy burning towards entropy, towards a peaceful solution. Burning brilliantly, spontaneously in the middle of nowhere. I picture your inner light, my inner light, all of ours, burning brilliantly, spontaneously in the middle of, I wouldn't say nowhere, but somewhere, in the middle of the heart center, right? But somewhere so deep within. And you too must make a sound that is somewhat like it. Though that, of course, you have no way of hearing at all. And so, when we chanted Om silently, which perhaps you had no way of hearing, you felt it. Give me a deep inhale. Let go of the breath. Use your hands to gently push your way up. Keep the head heavy. Keep the chin down. Take the shoulders up, back and down. Heart moves forward just a touch. And then bring the head back to center. So I want you to take a comfortable seat. Again, any comfortable seat. You can sit up on something. You can lean against the wall. Whatever makes you happy. And then close your eyes. And setting attachment aside, I want you to think about something in your world that you've been trying to figure out. It can be anything. Like literally anything. Something that you've been seeking an answer for, perhaps, or maybe you've gotten in an argument with a relative, or that's kind of on your mind, or whatever it is. energy burning towards entropy, towards a peaceful solution. I want you to go within and feel or find that peaceful solution. I'm wondering if you noticed your reaction when I said that. What was the first thing that happened next after I said go inside and find that peaceful solution? Did you notice anything? You might have, you might not have. What I noticed as soon as I said it is I took a deep breath and let it go. And isn't the breath one of the most fabulous solutions you have? So taking that focus to the breath, wherever you want to feel it. Maybe you're picturing it or feeling it coming up through the throat space, or maybe you're feeling it low in the abdomen, or it's in the nostrils, wherever you want. Focusing on the breath. The inhale, bringing you peace. The exhale, gifting you permission to let go of whatever you want to let go of that relative you had the argument with, or et cetera, et cetera. Inhaling peace. Exhaling distress. Inhaling, I know the answers. Exhaling, maybe that doesn't matter anymore. Inhaling, deep breath. Why wouldn't it matter anymore? Exhale, because I found my answer. Let go. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale, both arms up. Bring the palms together. Exhale, home to the heart. Nanjali Mudra. Prayer pose. Slightly bow the head. Let the thumbs touch the sternum. Make contact with the heart. Almost as though you're reaching through that heart chakra to where that light is, to hear that innermost sound. Can you hear your own Om? How funny that our innermost Om should be so quiet when Om is the sound of everything in the universe. Deep breath in through the nose. Hold it. Explosive exhale as you open the arms out wide. And release them down. I want you to look around your space, find all those fabulous things that you like to have in Shavasana. And let's go ahead and set that up. Noticing where you immediately take your mind. Is it to the breath? Which part of the breath? The feeling of it or the sound of it? Do you take your mind immediately to, okay, move aside thoughts, here comes Shavasana, get out of my way? Do you take your focus to the weight of the body? Do you feel yourself just settling into your own skin? Where's the sun right now? Do you want to picture it coming up behind the horizon? Do you want to picture it going down behind the horizon? Do you want to picture it full straight on above you, setting all this fabulous heat down? It's totally up to you. Wherever that sun is, I want you to hear its sound, hear its vibration, hear that crackling of its energy, and allow it to take you somewhere else. I'll beckon you back after Shavasana. If you listen closely from within the breath of Shavasana, from that place where your mind is still and perhaps your body asleep, you might hear it, that faint noise that comes from so deep within a heart space, energy burning towards a peaceful solution, burning brilliantly almost in the midst of nowhere, providing you with your answers that you seek. And you thought that you couldn't hear it. Without opening your eyes, just roll to a side in a fetal position. Hear your quiet breath and then allow it to deepen gradually. Does it get louder? And then when the lungs are ready, taking a long, deep inhale and using the exhale to push your way back up into your favorite seated pose. Strong breath in. Hear that loud exhale. Inhale the arms, bring the palms together. Exhale a silent Om back to your heart. The light in me bows to the light in you. And when I'm in that place in me and you're in that place in you, then we become one. Namaste.